Hello and welcome. 1 week has passed since my last announcement on YouTube. I have in the meanwhile produced 5 videos for the educational center about the half and the full H-bridge drivers. I compare the performance of the H-bridge drivers to Class A, B and C amplifier technologies, including the output signal from a 50 ohm current source of a signal generator. The test was conducted with 2 loads or DOTs, a Tesla coil and a high voltage flyback transformer. These video series are available to all subscription members like basic and full member. You find them under research, courses, electronic design and performance evaluation. And here are all the videos linked, and each video is part of a series I conducted. So it starts with the IR 2110, we go over to the NCP 5181, then we have a comparison between the IR 2183 and then a special version which allows you to change the dead time to 21834. Then we go over to IR 2184 and compared to IR 2103. And the last one I produced yesterday is the IRS 2453D, which is a full bridge H driver with integrated oscillator. So one example I like to present to you is troubleshooting. There are many reasons why you're not able to confirm if your IC is working. But before you go ahead and start building your circuit, make sure your driver works. Here is what you do. So on this circuit you see here is the IR 2110 in the middle connected on a breadboard. On the left side is my circuit which creates for me my logical input signals for high and low side. They are connected. There is no load connected. The output side is going to COM directly, and you should see no current, no power requirement on the 12 volt side, which is on the right side. On the left side you have the 5 volt side, which are graded down, which are tuned down to 2.5 volt because it still works at 2.5 volt, not only for my logic drive but also for the input side, because they are both technically the same kind of technologies they're using, which means they run at 2.5 volt. 5 volt consumes more power, but at higher voltage on the MOSFET side and higher requirement on a current draw, you might have to go up to 5 volt to be able to deliver the signal clean to the output stage. So here that means, so just to repeat, on a 12 volt side, measuring correctly for the high and the low side, the exact value as should be a little bit up, as you can see in here, close to 13 volt on the high and on the low side. That is perfectly fine. That will go up and down depending on what you tune. So here on the IR 2110, 12 volt is a recommended minimum voltage to use. But for the IR 2183, it's 10 volt. So we can use 10 volts. The same for the NCP 5181, 10 volt. But they can go up to 20 volt depending on the requirement of your load. So you don't need to do that. So it's no point to turn it up to 15 volt if it doesn't make any change. You only consume more power and heat up your IC chip here and risk to damage it. So always adjust it according to the requirement of the load, that enough power is going or enough current is going into the gate of the MOSFET or IDP. I will show you now how a damaged chip looks like, and unfortunately I have to say I cannot prove that, but I achieved a couple of them I ordered, and some of them were already in a package damaged. So that's why it's very important that you test them before. I'm going to show you now how a damaged chip looks like. Here you see now an example of a damaged chip. You can see the low side is getting hardly on, and you can see on the 12 volt side we are consuming power. We have definitely a shortage inside the chip, which makes it very, very difficult. So this one looks good on the high side. You might think, oh, I might use it just only for the high side, but bear in mind you consume already power, which will be increasing dramatically when you connect a MOSFET to the high side. So I cannot recommend using a damaged chip like that for any other application. This was a brief overview, and many more tests will be conducted and posted for my members on my website. Amongst them will be the 100% efficient Class E amplifier technology and one subject which keeps me occupied for some time, the G standard. The standard regulates the requirement of wireless power transfer and has until now eluded me because it requires a full H-bridge to drive the transmitting coil. Stay tuned, subscribe and become a member on my website for your research. Thank you and goodbye.